The only thing I can remember is when Marie and Scott got married, and after they got married, they did that second line dance, you call it, in the street, and I was so amazed because I had never seen anything like that. So that was quite an experience for me to see. But that's the only thing I could think of.
Think of what? What do you mean?
For the tape.
That's it? You got 20 seconds? We've been talking for 20 minutes.
I can't remember anything, David. My memory is going.
So you don't have any memories of childhood or your grandfathers or your father?
For me, you wanted some
anything.
Oh.
Anything you want to talk about.
Oh. Well, my mother came over here when she was 8 years old with her mother and siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Did you take a boat?
She took a boat, and they were like in the lowest class, but my mother was always up in the highest class with all the rich people.
How'd she do that?
She had a lot of chutzpah.
Chutzpah?
Yeah.
What's chutzpah?
Nerve.
Oh, yeah, she's a strong woman, I was told.
Yeah. And she met my dad at what they call the Turner Hall. It was originally like a gymnastic thing.
Gymnastic thing?
Well, a building where they had where they did gym stuff.
Like lifting weights? Or
yeah.
Okay, gym.
And it's called Turner Hall, but they also had. Are you in People's Way here, David?
No, we're okay.
They also had dances there, I think, like every Sunday night or something. And that's where she met my dad.
What kind of dancing?
Like ballroom dancing, like social dancing.
Well, I know. I mean, dancing is generally social, but was it swing dancing, jazz?
Oh, no, it's just like the waltz and stuff like that.
Square dancing?
No, that was before square dancing. And so she met my dad, and we started to go out together. And my mother was raised in the Catholic Church, but not the Roman Catholic, the other kind, what do you call that? The Greek Catholic, which...
Greek Orthodox?
Yeah, which was different. But then when she married my dad, she changed over to the Roman. And my Italian grandparents had they were in the fruit business, and they did pretty well. I think they were fairly wealthy. They owned a big mansion house on Astor Street, which was a fancy street in Milwaukee.
Mm.
And those big houses, they had like ballrooms on the top floor. So
if you went back to Milwaukee, would you be able to find that house if it was still standing?
Oh, the Astor Street? No, I don't know. No. But you know what? I dream almost every night, and I'm always at home at like our house 265. So I must be really missing it,
You spent, how many years there? 70 years?
Oh, let's see. I think I was about 17 or 16.
Oh, okay, 50 years maybe.
And I don't know how old I was when I sold it and we moved to Arkansas. Never did I realize in a million years that David Rhoda would turn out to be some kind of pervert.
Was mom touched inappropriately as a kid?
No. No. But you know, she had to wear that brace all growing up years, and I think that took some of her confidence away.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what else do I know? Is that enough?
Couple more minutes.
Well, I know when I got old enough, when I graduated from high school, and my organ teacher introduced me to her agent, who said that I looked older, and he wanted to start booking me, you know, getting me jobs. And I was all excited to get paid for something I love to do. And my mother too, she was, you know, all for money too. But my dad, he didn't want me to do that. He was afraid that somebody would take advantage of me.
Mm.
And then later, when he saw how well I did, and you know how I conducted myself, he bragged to other people about it.
Did your parents ever come and watch you play?
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Were they supportive parents?
Oh yeah.
Did your parents say I love you?
Yeah, they didn't do that in those days.
Right.
No, but when
Did you do it to mom?
oh yeah, I'm sure.
Where did you get the idea to start that?
Well, I don't know. It was the trend then. It was
Right.
you know, the fashion. But when my sister was a year ahead of me in school, and you know, although she was 4 years older, she was sick when she was little, so she, you know, got held back. But when her class graduated, I played the organ. I played Pomp and Circumstance when they came down. So I'm sure my folks were there, you know. But you know, they had seen me play all my life, so they were used to it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But my dad was overprotective. He thought I wouldn't be able to take care of myself, you know. Because, you know, in his day, you know, a woman didn't do that, just go out on her own and
Right.
travel and, you know, play like that. So, but my mother went out, and I went out and played. You know, I got interested in watching my brother play the piano. I was only about 5 years old, and he'd play the piano, and I'd be mesmerized. But he had to have music for everything he played. He didn't have an ear for anything, you know. So later he was so admiring of me that I could sit down and play anything. I'd hear him play something, you know, from the music, and when he was done, I'd sit down and I'd play it because I had it in my head. So he just could never get over that I could do that, and he couldn't.
That is impressive, Grandma.
Yeah. But I had a good ear.
You play the accordion the piano and the organ.
and played the violin for a little bit, but I didn't like it. It was too hard to hold it up. My arms got tired. And in high school, one semester I tried the harp, but that was too hard. I got cross-eyed trying to look at those strings that went this way,
Right.
So that didn't interest me. So no, nothing. I fell in love with the organ when I first heard it. They had at lunchtime at school. They'd show movies, and this one time they showed Ethel Smith, who became famous when the Hammond organ first was invented, and she, she was well schooled. You're not in anybody's way.
Nope, we're good.
Well schooled musician, but she evidently lived in South America or something, and she picked up on South American rhythms and that, and she's the one that made Tico Tico famous. And so they had this movie of her. She was playing something and I can't think of it, and it was all, the wind was going, and she was playing. What the heck was the name of that? And she was such a good musician, and her feet were going and her hands were going, and I understand later that she sang too. She was very talented. Oh, The Breeze and I, that's what it was. And I thought, oh my God, that's fantastic. Then right after that, somebody who became famous and made a lot of money because he went to Girls Tech, where I went, and wrote a cookbook that made him, I don't think it was a man, I don't know, made him famous. So he bought an organ and donated it to our school, and they put it in the auditorium, and our piano teacher, because I was in the orchestra, played the piano, and she said, well, anybody who's interested, I'll teach them what I know of the organ. So yeah, I think I was the first one who raised my hand. So she taught me what she knew, and then she said, well, you need to have a private teacher at this point. So she recommended her friend, her name was Kay Sterling, and she was a professional organist, but she too had to have the notes right in front of her. But she played at a nightclub in Milwaukee, like on 3rd Street or something. And she did all the things I wasn't interested. Like, she had that fake smile, and she did all the cornball actions, that gave her somebody back here.
No, we're okay.
So then I studied with her for a while, and I'd have to go to her house like one day a week after school. So after Girls Tech, I'd take another streetcar to the end of the line, and then I'd have to walk. She lived in Wauwatosa. I had to walk to her house, I don't know, about 4 or 5 more blocks. But she was very rounded too, and she didn't know anything about improvisation or anything. She was strictly by the notes. So
what about your first car?
Huh?
Well, what age did you get your first car?
My first car? I don't know. Well, I drove my dad's car for a while.
Did you drive your dad's car to school?
No.
So
No,
when you were in high school, you never drove a car?
No, we take the streetcar. No.
And do you remember getting your license as an adult or as a license in high school?
No, as an adult. In fact, I remember driving his car when Charlotte was born. She was just an infant, and I was driving to Lorraine's house. She lived in New Berlin, and it was we had snow, And so the road I was on, there was like a deep, like this, and I got on the bottom and I got stuck. And I thought, oh, what am I going to do now? And just as I got stuck, the snowplow came along and plowed the road and got me out. So, but that, I don't know if that was my dad's car or mine, but I never was fond of driving, and Lorraine loved it, but I never liked it.
It seems hard for me to imagine living in a time where you can't just call from any point anywhere you want. So like if your car broke down in the, a couple miles away from home, me today, I'm gonna call my friend to have me tow home, or I'm gonna have to I can call a wrecker, and they can tow me home. But what did you do in the 50s and the 60s when your car broke down?
You call up.
How do you call?
Oh, how do you call? Yeah.
You gotta go like door to door knocking or something.
What?
You gotta go knock on doors to see if someone can let you borrow a phone.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think if somebody saw you stuck, they would just call if they could. Like a gas station or something.
What do you see for the future, Grandma? Like, what kind of changes do you see for the future? You've seen parts of the 40s, but all of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, 80s, 90s.
I don't know. What kind of worries me is that AI stuff. It's like a whole new era starting up.
Right, potentially.
Yeah, and I don't know how that's going to affect everybody.
Well, we don't have any, at this particular point, we don't have any computers that think on their own. You understand?
Yeah, but people can fool other people by using this technique.
No. People can fool other people by using a computer.
Yeah.
But the artificial intelligence that is computers thinking on its own and doing its own thing does not exist yet. They're predicting it's coming.
Yeah. Well.
What else? Do you see anything positive for the future?
I don't really think about it. I just go day to day.
I know. But you've seen so many decades in the past. You've seen technology grow. I'm curious if you have any ideas about what you could think of in the future that might change.
Well, I know some big companies are throwing millions into this AI business and developing it. That worries me. What that could do.
Yep. I think a lot of people are worried about it too.
Yeah. Because that's such a new, art form or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
Yeah. That Ukraine-Russian war, I hope that doesn't escalate. But I think Trump will get a handle on it. And stop it. Because like he's saying, young Russian soldiers, young Ukrainian soldiers, they're all getting killed. He said, what for? So, and that's true. Yeah.
So you can't think of anything positive to say about the world's future? 15, 20 years from now?
I don't know. I haven't even thought like that, David. I hope it's a safe world for the kids, growing up into it. So, but I won't be here, make any difference. So, Yeah, I won't be able to do anything about it.
All right, Grandma. You did good.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
You don't have to take the city bus.
I don't what?
You don't have to take the city bus
Oh.
to Zapardo's.
Oh.